Well, good afternoon, friends. You know, the beauty about these events, especially the ones that follow this model that we've built, is that it allows us this opportunity to create these intimate environments where we can have more meaningful conversations. You know, I'm sure that many of you are road warriors like I am, who have, through the many, many years, have gone to conferences from 300 or 400 to tens of thousands, and it just always seems like, as much as I say and as much as I listen at those events, I get so little out of them because there's just so much, and in a setting like this, we have that opportunity to be able to really meaningfully engage with each other and really dive into some of the challenges. And also it allows us to create many more solid relationships that we know will continue for many, many years. And I hope we all get to do that together. As it goes, as an organization, our mission statement as a publisher of these periodicals covering advanced computing technologies and producing events like this, and also facilitating and accelerating adoption with our Tabor Insights group, our mission statement reads, through news, analysis, and information, we facilitate in unifying the communities we serve. And this strategy of having these hosted model meetings in that intimate format is a very important part and a cornerstone of us moving forward with achieving our mission statement. Whether it's a vendor proposition for, towards a solution, you typically won't find that anywhere else but in a venue like this or in a publication like ours. A simple conversation with the vendor is a part of that process of unifying the community and finding solutions and accelerating adoption and so on, right? So I want to thank you all personally. I've made some really good new friends, and had some great conversations, and I've renewed some, friendships that I've had in the past, and I've sort of expanded some of the friendships that I've had from the previous events that we've had around leverage big data and enterprise HPC. I wonder if you will humor me with this exercise that we did at, I think it was at the last Leverage Big Data, and I actually have the data from that. So I'm going to ask you all to take a moment and consider, and this is, of course, completely unscientific, and it is just for my personal amusement, so you're just going to have to indulge me, and then I'll share it with you. But just take a second and think about where you think we are on this Gartner curve. And we're actually going to take a vote. That's how unscientific this is. I'm going to count hands. So this is such a departure from the big data exercises we've been discussing all along. But so by show of hands, does anyone believe we're at the technology trigger point? I think that's a non-issue. We're probably beyond that. No one's raising their hand. Okay, please participate. Does anyone believe we're at the peak of inflated expectations? 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Okay, I'm going to jot that down. All right. Does anyone believe we're at point 3 between the peak and the trough? All right. Okay. Keep your hands up, please. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, 28 at 3. All right. Does anyone believe we're in the trough? Okay, 0. Oh, 1. Oh, sorry about that. Very important one. Does anyone believe that we are on the slope of enlightenment? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. Okay, 8. No double voting, right? This is not like one of those reality shows where you can call in and your singer can win multiple times, right? So does anyone believe we are at the plateau of productivity? Okay, 0. So this is what I have. So if you could just jot these down so that you have a point of comparison, because I'm not sophisticated enough to put it up in real time. So for 1, we have 0. For 2, we have 4. For 3, we have 28. For 4, we have 1. For 5, we have 8. 6, we have 0. All right? Dr. Kirk, or Dr. Captain Kirk, our astrophysicist, was kind enough to share with me last year's count. So this was from 1 year ago, right? So 0, we're beyond the trigger point. Peak of expectations was 9. In this vote, it was 4. The midpoint was 15. In this vote, it was 28. The trough was 1 today, 0 then, 5 on the slope, 3 then, 0 on the plateau of productivity. So, and just as a added point of reference, that's from last year's sample, that's the percentage. And it's probably pretty close. There might be a few more, the percentage at that midpoint between the peak of inflated expectations, trough of disillusionment might be a little higher. But, for what it's worth, it's a control sample, and we have 100% response rate to the sample size. So I'm going with it. You're going to see that in all of our future articles on, the quantities of the belief in the hype curve. Yes.
What does it mean that nobody sits in the trough?
Well, that we're all disillusioned is what it means. We're a bit dysfunctional and a little disillusioned. I don't know. There are probably smarter folks in greater conversation that can discuss some of these things over lunch. But I find it quite interesting that, it appears that we're at least at the peak and sliding down that side of the peak. I find it quite interesting that we have folks that believe we're at least last year, we were at the plateau of productivity, and even on the slope of enlightenment, So when you look at all of the data, especially coming out of the analysts, the numbers are horrific around, to what degree we have, engaged in, these big data technologies and big data challenges. I think we opened the event with the teenage sex, metaphor, right? And every time I see a report from Gartner or any of the leading analysts, that teenage metaphor, perfectly layers over the data. Jackie had some very interesting information when she shared with us the research results of the 750 executives around the world that participated in the IBM study. And I've got to believe that that's probably one of the more, probably more accurate or better samples of what's representative in terms of big data perceptions. IBM's got a pretty sizable installation base, and certainly it's they've been in that enterprise business sector for many years, and so I think if you took some of Jackie's data and layered it over our simple sample here, and the results of our simple sample, probably find the same thing. So, in any case. Thank you for amusing me with that. I want to thank you all, the attendees who've flown, from many far and distant places. I want to thank the sponsors for being here and sharing in this event and making it possible. And I'd like to thank our partner, Engage. I think you will all agree that they've done a beautiful and professional job in hosting an event. Typically you go to these things and you don't even notice those things, but when it's done right, and our partners Engage are just consummate professionals in doing these sorts of things. It allows us to be more engaging with each other. The environment just sets it up to make it that way. So please give yourselves all a round of applause. I thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you at our very next event. Cheers.